We are previewing the main card of UFC 194 right now with Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsBreaker.com. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR Videos. Nick Kalikas, right now we're going to take a look at the only fight on the main card that doesn't have competitive spreads. And a lot of times we see all the fights on the main card with big favorites. This time, it's only one, Max Holloway and Jeremy Stephens. Of course, these guys are quote-unquote friends. They used to be training partners. That's always kind of in the back of my head. Never 100% sure how to factor that in, so I wind up usually just throwing it out. But right now, Holloway's a minus 550 favorite. Jeremy Stephens plus 425. The odds make sense to me because Holloway has been so dominant since he last lost to Conor McGregor. He's won 7 in a row, and Jeremy Stephens is more of a gatekeeper who kind of like is usually outclassed in terms of skill, but has a puncher's chance, which is always dangerous to bet against as a big underdog at this line. Well, first let's start with, I'm assuming that the public has been betting Max Holloway. Where'd you open these odds?
Yeah, they have been betting Max Holloway. Open at minus 315.
Right.
And they come back 235 on Stephens. So originally, I thought that was enough respect because Stephens has a ton of power. He can knock out anybody in the weight class, right? And he's got great takedown defense. So basically what you're going to see here is striker versus striker. And honestly, I mean, Stephens is the more capable fighter as far as knockout power goes, even though Holloway has definitely proven that he's capable of finishing fights that way as well. So he's got more pure power. So to me, in my opinion, would I lay 3-4 to 1 over a guy like Stephens with that kind of power? I wouldn't. But obviously, there's a lot of people out there that don't mind it, and they've come in that way, put him in parlays, and they're probably going to win. I mean, it is kind of a puncher's chance that Stephens has. So with the way Holloway's performed and with his improvement level, I do think that he can outpoint Stephens along the way. And there's a possibility he lands enough that he might knock him out as well. Because he is going, I mean, he's got the speed, he's got some power, he's got the good fight IQ, he's got the energy to just bring it the entire fight. So he does have a lot of advantages, and I have a ton of respect for Holloway. I just think that Stephens is one of those guys you always got to be careful with.
My sense also is that, because they've trained together, because they're familiar with each other, and because they're quote-unquote friends, maybe, the most likely result here is Holloway by decision, and that he won't get caught, and that it goes a distance. So maybe betting Holloway by decision or just the over 2.5 rounds at minus 155 might be the bets with value. What's your take on that?
And again, it's a little bit tough. I do think that you got some points there. I think it probably does hit the scorecards, and if that's the case, Holloway should outpoint him to a decision here. But it's a little strange because from time to time, and it depends on the game plan. I mean, if you look, Conor McGregor was able to take Max Holloway down. Now, Max Holloway has some good takedown defense overall. He's proven that time and time again, so it's a little strange because sometimes you can get him to the floor, but more times than not, it's not that easy to get him down.
Yeah.
And Stephens is not really known for his wrestling, but at the same time, he's capable of putting the fight to the floor at times as well, and he's been working on that aspect. So you might see him try to sneak a takedown or two along the way, and we're not really sure if that's going to be something that he's going to be able to really do, to be able to get him down or not until they get in there. But I think that's one wild card that nobody's probably thinking about or talking about is maybe Stephens going to look to take the fight to the ground a little bit here. And again, it is going to be a task. Or again, that knockout power that Stephens has, I think it'll be a little bit competitive on the feet, but it is going to be the speed, and it's going to be just Holloway. I think his precision overall is going to win it. So over 2.5 rounds. Again, I think it does go that way, but you do have two capable finishers. I mean, Stephens is capable of knocking anybody out in the weight class, and then Holloway he has so much momentum going on his side right now. I mean, he's just been destroying people as well. So I don't know. That's where I'm not that confident with laying that price on the over as well. But at 155, there might be something to it.
So it sounds like then that that it is going to be a decision for the books. They're going to need Stephens, and that if Holloway wins, it'll be a small loser for the books.
Yeah, that's probably the likely scenario here as well. And again, sometimes you can't really avoid that too much. The early action again that came in was a little bit smaller, and they moved, accordingly with it. So it's not going to be too bad. And we are going to get some bigger bets that come in on Stephens for sure at that price. There's no doubt about that either. So I don't think it'll be that bad. And I think if anything, I mean, where the price is now, by fight day, we will see a drop in the line. So I don't think it's going to go up to like 600-700. I think right now it's kind of reaching its peak. I don't think we're going to see it reach much higher than it is now. So if anything, the line will drop a little bit more. So those people that want to back Holloway or put him in parlays or something, I would wait a little bit. And then the people that want to take Stephens, though, I mean, probably the earlier the better that you get in on him.
Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsBreaker.com expects the line to drop. And my pick on the fight, a little bit steep. I'd rather be getting like minus 120, Nick Kalikas. But I would take the over 2.5 rounds right now. It's minus 155 at 5 dimes. Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsBreaker.com. Thanks so much.